Hello, everybody. Welcome again to another session of Wealth Whispers. If you've not come across it before, where have you been? But welcome, guys. I really appreciate you being here. As I said, if you've not come across me before, my name is Anwin Mbah, Business Wealth Strategist and founder of Wealthfluency, helping established business women turn their revenue generating business into a six-figure wealth-building vehicle in 90 days. And as you guys know, I'm always about, building your wealth, protecting your wealth, as well as transferring your wealth. And today I've got amazing Alessia here with us to basically, again, always giving us nuggets around, optimizing our business to build wealth. And that's what she's going to be helping us here today to really, really get us in that space. But I'm going to let her do the talking from here and introduce herself. Alessia, please, it's all yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. I am really excited to be delving in this conversation. It's really interesting and it's kind of a hot topic. But about me, I am a tech expert for online business owners, which means that I am the one working behind the scenes, make sure that all your softwares are working properly so my clients can focus on what lights them up, what brings money in, and they don't have to waste time pulling their hair off with technology, trying to find the right tool, and watching endless YouTube video tutorials, trying to understand how a new software works and try to understand if it's the right one for you. So that's what I do. It's really different work. So every day it's really different from the previous one, and that's maybe one of the things I love the most about it.
Oh, I bet. I absolutely bet. I mean, tech is one of those things that really, really boggles the mind, especially when you have a vision in your head as to how you want it to work. But then to make it come to fruition is a whole different topic altogether. And that's basically business, isn't it? You have this massive idea, and usually executing and implementing it might not be as straightforward as you had thought or not thought. It really, really depends.
Yeah.
So we are coming out of COVID, we're coming out of lockdown, and shops are opening up again, and things are starting to pick up slowly but surely. During the time, basically the last 4 or 5 months or so, have you seen an uptake of certain technologies that were not as popular before?
Well, one above all has been Zoom, and generally speaking, any other video calling software. In addition to Skype, Skype has always been the most popular one, but there has often been glitches, and also the quality of the videos and the audio is not always the best. So Zoom has seen this an uptake, and a lot of people started using it, companies and corporates, as well as, for example, Google Hangouts, or the new version of Hangouts. Now I don't remember the name anymore. There has been Google or meetings and so on. And that is also why then Zoom, when was it? A couple of months ago, maybe a month and a half ago, they had this the update of the security features. So now every time someone comes in, you have to accept it, which is, it makes it safer, because it has happened to me as well that, I joined a meeting a few minutes earlier and there is someone else on the call with the person with whom I'm supposed to speak into. So that's, can be fun, but it can also be a bit awkward for someone. So that has been an interesting development. But mostly, I have to say that many companies had already been using like project management systems, but I have to say that this audio communication, audio and video communication tools like Zoom have been like have had a massive development. And even my partner that is usually working in an office environment, for the virtual meetings, they have always been using Zoom since the lockdown started. So above all, I would say that's the number one. And I think also more project management tools like Asana or Trello have been used more and more, especially with like small companies that maybe weren't using these project management tools.
Okay, that is very true. I mean, yeah. I mean, everything has been around for a while, but it
Yeah.
seems like it just, had a
Yeah.
revival the last
Yeah.
couple of months, and a lot
Yeah.
of people are taking time to get used to it, or took time to get used to it. Probably not everybody knows it quite well. So then, so from a simple, usually what tends to happen is things get overcomplicated and we try to put too many things in our workflow. So to keep it simple then in regards to, the five basic things that you should have in your business, what would you say that is? And I don't know, if is there a difference between a service-based business and a product-based business in regards to the five basic, or the five basics is the same regardless of what kind of business you have?
Well, I mean, generally speaking, my view in my and the way I run my business is always to keep things easy, because technology is already quite complicated and you don't want to overcomplicate things, regardless of your business type, whether you're delivering services or products. The key thing is always to keep things easy, and especially I don't really believe that you need complex structures in order to have a successful and thriving business. So I would say for an online business, obviously that is my niche, my area, so I can talk about this, but many things apply also to a local business that wants to have an online presence. I would say that the basic things to keep in mind and to use to make sure that your business is simple but organized are definitely a basic project management. It doesn't really matter if you have a team or you don't yet have a team. A project management just helps you have a database, an archive of all your activities, your documents, your process, your guidelines, anything really. I think it's a fantastic way to stay organized, because many of my clients come to me saying that, I started like 5 years ago, and it was very basic. I had stuff on my laptop, and then it started to become too much. So they got a Google Drive, like a Google Suite, so the whole Google Drive, Google spreadsheets, and so on. But then later they moved to, for example, a project management. So they have scattered things everywhere, and it's a bit of a messy. I mean, it's a messy environment. And starting already since the beginning with the project management makes life much easier. Also, as a long-term perspective, when you will be ready to hire team member, having everything on one platform makes the process much easier, because you will just give access to your team members and they can find all they need, all the documentation, guidelines, PDFs, videos, tasks, anything there, just in one place. So it's just the best way to get started, and also get started with a long-term perspective, basically. And then another thing that I would advise using is definitely, since we're talking about wealth, it's a simple payment system together with an invoicing system. And of course, it's always a good idea to keep things easy for you, but you as a business owner, but you also want to make the experience easy for the buyers. So I always take as an example the Amazon. So Amazon, once you have your account, they have the one-click feature that you just click a button and the purchase goes through. That is debatable if it's okay. For sometimes I felt like, oh my God, I didn't want to buy that, but okay, it went through. Okay, it doesn't matter, whatever, it's ready. But it's okay, you know, maybe I needed a bit more time to think about it, but what is done is done, so whatever. But what it's important is keeping in mind the process, making it very easy for the buyers to buy something from you or to pay you, without many different middle steps, like put your details here and then hit continue, and then you have to put your address and then hit continue, and then your payment details and so on. So payment methods that makes it easy for you to manage, but also for the buyers to buy from you without too many worries and you know, overcomplicating things.
Yeah.
Those are really important.
Okay. Absolutely. I really love the idea that you said start with a project management tool from get-go. I never really considered that, which is makes total sense. And then payment systems. Oh Lord, those really help. And I know like PayPal has recently changed its policies as well. So those of you with PayPal, make sure you do check out your policies. They've changed your terms, so you might like it or you might not like it. Just check. That is really helpful, especially the project. I'm really saying the project management one really got me. So then we have the basics that you need to put in place, and then we've seen an uptake of certain technologies that were not necessarily fully or widespread before lockdown. So now that we're coming out of lockdown, how do you maintain the whole almost systematic approach that you've embedded within your business prior or during COVID? And then now, how do you place back the whole face-to-face aspect and live aspect that we've not had for the last couple of months? How do you basically marry the two to have a good balance?
Yeah, I mean, I really think that, I mean, I've been working online since 2014, maybe, in several different type of business. So I really hope that companies will bring the remote element forward even after lockdown, because it is true that when you offer flexible remote work, productivity skyrockets. I mean, I see it for myself. I've been working online for ages, yet when I am at home, because it's my usual environment, I often get distracted. But when I go to the co-working space or when I go to the library, I'm always very focused, and I do the amount of work that I would do at home in, like, I don't know, 4 hours, 5 hours, I do it in 2 hours. I do it in half of the time, because I'm really focused and I don't have distractions. So something that came out during lockdown is actually, oh, you know, remote work isn't that bad. You know, if you give flexibility, for example, I mean, working mothers or family with children. So if the two parents are working from home and there are the kids at home, of course, you need to offer flexibility, because, and this is something that has always left me a bit, you know, with like the like that bitter aftertaste is when, you know, I used to work in corporate and I would ask for a remote day, and they would say no, because I don't believe that work will get done. And it doesn't really feel good, because actually a lot more work can get done if companies allow this flexible remote work. So my hope is really that companies, like big corporate or small companies, would still allow the flexibility of maybe taking, you know, some days or 1 day a week that you can still work from home and be more flexible, while also keep using the softwares that they started using during lockdown. For example, Zoom. I mean, not everyone has to be all the time at the office for a meeting. It can also be virtual, or some people can be at the office, some people can be at home, or any other place of the world for that matter. I think that the future of the work is, as long as it gets done, you can do it, at wherever you want, and in a way keeping the flexibility, and also whenever you want. Of course, if you are committed to specific time frames when you have to be present for meetings, by all means, I'm not saying that you should skip the meetings, but having the flexibility of choosing when and where to work, I think that's the way forward. Absolutely.
Couldn't agree more. It makes such a difference to kind of just have that space. I must agree with you. And I know quite a few of, let's say, my clients as well really, really enjoy flexibility, not necessarily from a corporate perspective, but also within their lives. So they try to create that business that kind of works around what they are trying to do. And sometimes, you do move from your 9 to 5 to your, 8 to 8 kind of scenario. And it's really, your duty to kind of reduce that. When you start out, that is okay, but reducing it should really be your goal, that you're not working, 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
And that is really, really, that's really good. And then you can actually do other things as well, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So talking then about all this information that you've just shared with us as to the basics that you should have in place, and also things to kind of keep yourself flexible in regards to how you go about your productivity, which you touched on as well. So going from that then, and one of the topics I cover is around, having harmonic wealth, and having that wealth is not only about money. There is so much more to wealth, and there's a holistic aspect to it. And a lot of what you've been saying is literally the intellectual wealth, isn't it? Around the way your systems and processes marry up together. So from your experience, and also from your clients as well, what is the best way then to keep this going, and to keep this absent of you, so that you do not have to keep trading time for money? So what is the best way, or what are the first couple of steps you would say to start almost allowing your business to self-run?
So the first step, if it hasn't already been taken, is definitely starting to outsource. Because, and this is just so serendipitous, because just today I was writing a piece of content exactly on how to starting to outsource, especially when you are a perfectionist, or, even if you're not a perfectionist. Our businesses are like babies, and you don't really want to let go of them and that someone else would take care, because they don't have the same care, same passions that we have. It's normal. It's normal. By all means, I'm not here to say that that doesn't happen. That happens to me as well, and it's totally normal. However, starting onboarding some team members, even just starting with a person that helps you, I don't know, 5 hours a week, that's already a good beginning to get ready to actually focus on what lights you up, what brings the money in. And the excellent beginning, even if you're at the beginning maybe a bit afraid, it could be to just list down 3 to 5 things that you absolutely dislike, that they're just the thought of doing those tasks is just dreadful. So that is already an excellent beginning. And just starting to outsource those things, even if they are tiny things. If you think in a long-term aspect, you are anyway going to gain so much time from outsourcing those tiny little things, because maybe one task takes half an hour for you, but if you multiply that half an hour for every week of the year until the end of the year, and then in the future, you have so much time, you win so much time back. So already, like, starting to outsource, that would be the very, very first thing. And the other thing that I would always advise is doing like a research in terms of the tools and the softwares that you are using, and seeing which ones are serving you and which one need an upgrade. And when you understand what you need to upgrade. So for example, I don't know, if you want to implement like group programs, or if you then want to move from one-to-one coaching to one-to-many with online courses or group programs, maybe you just shared your content, the workbooks on Google Drive, but because you want to get started with online courses or group programs, you need a different platform to make it more interactive and easier to manage. But my advice is, okay, you know what you need to upgrade, but don't just make the purchase, because you want to be wise with your investments, and you want to make sure that you pick the right one, the right platform that can support you during this growth, during this period of development and change and growth. So these are I would say, the most important first two steps that I would take.
Okay, so matching up your systems as well as then outsourcing what you necessarily don't like, which
Yeah.
is good, which is good. Sometimes I think it's usually the opposite way around. We see a system and then we try to implement it in our business rather than look in our business and see what system matches to it, which is the logical way to do it. But yeah, that's just the way things go.
Yeah, it is.
It's crazy. Yeah. Okay. So then, is there a way then to kind of protect yourself during all of this? Like, is there a backup mechanism at all that you can put in place? Because again, you're trying to step away from your business so that it could run itself.
Yeah.
And if it goes down, I know in the corporate world, we have like ghost sites and all of that will usually test out every quarter to make sure that it's still running,
Yeah.
or is it every year? How do
Yeah.
you do that as a small business then to make sure that your literally intellectual property, not only from your business content itself and your programs, but also that your systems are protected as well for, any acts of God or whatever else might come around our
Yeah.
way?
I mean, doing a backup is always a good idea. I have a website backup that is done automatically every day. And I have also the laptop and computer backup that I think that one is as well every day. So having these two, I would say it's a must. And then when it comes, for example, about online course platforms or project management, usually the platforms have their own recovery structures. So if something happens, and I mean, by something happens, I mean, something happens to their servers, unless you manually delete everything, then they have a way for sure to recover the material that has gone lost. Those two, I mean, doing the backup is obviously something that I would always recommend. But something else that I also want to mention is that this is more on like a personal level and not maybe about tools and systems. But I think what is also really important is having an excellent relationship with your team members, because that also brings peace of mind. And you want to, if you want to work less, you want to take some time off, maybe you want to work 2-3 days a week, and you don't want constantly to be there, of course you need to surround yourself with team members that you can trust, with whom you share the same values, because that will also make sure that you have, I don't know, a bit of I don't know how to describe it, but a bit of an emotional backup in your business, and feeling like you have this support, and that you can be, you can take some time off. It makes a massive difference. So if I just came back from a holiday. If I would have left to go on holiday with the worry that, oh my God, my team members, maybe they don't know how these things works, or maybe I don't know if I can trust this person because it's new, it would have been a hell, really. But I left knowing that my team members know what needs to happen. They are on top of things. So I left knowing that, okay, everything is fine. And even if something happens, when I'll be back, I'll deal with it.
Yeah, that is just a priceless piece of mind. It is absolutely priceless. Like, just go away and be comfortable that, your shop is still going to be there when you return.
Yeah.
And reaching that point in your business is really, really a massive milestone. So for those that are already there, amazing, well done. It wasn't easy. It's not an easy route. And I mean, well done for the hard work, because it does take hard work to find the right people with your same value and the same passion as well. So to close off then, Alessia, is there one tip? So if we heard nothing else from you today, what is the one thing that you want us to take away?
Well, one thing that I always tell my clients, or any other person that comes to me, is to really avoid overcomplicating things. Many times I talk to people that have really wonderful ideas, but then the way they want to implement it, it's rather complicated. And depending on the stage you are at in business, it may be a good idea to have a complex structure, but my advice is always to start with simple, because it also needs to be manageable for you. If you don't have a team, and you have to do things yourself, then you want to keep them things really easy, because otherwise it will just become an obstacle and you're not going to implement anything.
Absolutely. Keeping it simple, absolutely priceless. The funny thing is that complexity creeps on you. It's not just one big bang, it just creeps on you, and the next thing you know, bam, you have this massive system that does not necessarily function. And it becomes almost embedded. I've worked in certain organizations where just bad processes have just been embedded in the culture of the organization, that you totally forget what the initial reason was. Almost like, why are you doing it this way? So keeping it simple is absolutely great, priceless, and such great advice. It sounds so matter of fact. It's literally a no-brainer, but weirdly enough, implementing simplicity is not as easy as it sounds.
It's not.
It's not. So, Alessia, where can we find you? What is going on with you, so that we can kind of keep abreast of, new systems, as well as keeping things simple as we evolve in our business, from established businesses to growing businesses to, run yourself businesses?
Yeah. So the best way to get a hang of me is definitely LinkedIn. So come and find me on LinkedIn. My name is Alessia Pandolfi. Or then, of course, my website, alessiapandolfi.com. But the best way is definitely LinkedIn. I hang out in there every day. So it's the best way to get a hang of me.
Okay, great. I am totally going to add that here, so that, guys, if you really need to look at your systems, especially if you're serious, and it's time to really get serious with this. If you're serious about where you want to take your business, and the sustainability of your business as well, and the longevity of your business, then you really have to ponder on and make intentional decisions about the systems that you are putting in your business, because it can literally make or break you. From a mental perspective, from a team's perspective as well, because you want something that people can literally pick up quickly enough, so that it allows you to scale with ease. So many times you've seen businesses that have literally outgrown the owner, and systems that are cumbersome, all for the sake of it being vavavoom. I mean, I've used the big systems like the Salesforces and the Microsoft Dynamics. That sometimes, it's all vavavoom, but really, did the business need it? No, not that much. And Alessia, you probably attest to this as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that has been really amazing. Thank you so much, Alessia. And also, it's kind of comforting to kind of see that we're not alone in this space, especially coming out of COVID, that we're not alone in this space, and also to keep at it and keep working on it. As Alessia said, you guys can find her on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, do reach out to her there. She's very, very approachable and totally happy to, share her 2 cents
Absolutely.
with you. Okay. And that is it for us today, guys. Make sure that you do share this large and wide, because I know there are a lot of businesses that need this support, especially where they're establishing themselves, they're growing, and also coming out of lockdown. So that is it for us for this session of Wealth Whispers. Thank you very much, Alessia, for joining me. We totally appreciate you. And guys, if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure that you do subscribe down below. Until the next one, bye-bye for now.